Hello guys, it's a new episode of your sandbox project, and today I'm gonna show you how to make use of structures and data tables so you can build up the proper architecture for, like in my case, an item feature. I mean that you need to create only one base class, and all the children that will derive from this class will have their own attributes and their own abilities. It's quite useful to use the tables, so you don't need to recreate the whole logic for all new element that you need to create. I hope this video will be quite useful for all of you. So let's get started. So I'll show you the whole tutorial on the item feature. So basically the item should have an icon, maybe tooltip. It can have weight, rarity, and other attributes. So first of all, we need to create the base class. It's gonna be actor. Let's name it item base. Next, you need to create the structure. Structure will define attributes that our item should have. This structure, item base, will handle two more structures. So this one is like the parent structure, and structure can contain other structures also. It's just for the sake of the demo, so you can see how the system can be complex. Let's create two more structures. One will be for visual settings. It will handle like icon, maybe tooltip, icon resolution, etc. Next structure will be for attributes. It will handle weight and maybe quantity. Also, I'll show you how to add enumerations also to the data table. So let's create enumeration. Rarity. This enumeration is for the rarity of an item. Now you need to create the data table. By having data table, you can quickly adjust all the attributes, all the parameters of an item. So you need to select miscellaneous, then go to data table. Here we need to select the structure for our data table, and this is gonna be item base. And the name of data table is items. Now if you open your data table, you can see that you don't have anything here. Let's add the first element and let's rename it like item 0.1, and you can see that it has only the base boolean type of the structure we have here. As I said, structure can contain other structures. So here we will add visual. It's the name of our structure, and here we need to change boolean to f item visual. Now it contains the structure of item visual. Let's add new variable, sorry guys, and this gonna be attributes. Don't forget to change the reference. By default, all the structures have Boolean type inside them. So if we open our attributes, our visual, we can see these default values. Let's change, like in case of attributes, let's add some weight. This is going to be integer. And let's go with quantity. Also integer. You can leave default values in case you don't need to, like, it's good practice to have default values as they are, but in case your particular feature needs to have like quantity or weight of an element set by default to one or other value, you can define it here, and all the items that you will add here in the data table will also have default values from this structure. Once I've done some changes inside structure item attributes, you can see that the structure item base now is updated and have these elements. And as for visual, let's go with maybe texture. And maybe tooltip or description, I don't know. It's gonna be string. Now let's see an item base, and as you can see, the structure is updated. Also, if we open our data table, now as you can see, we have our default values. And let's continue. We have one thing left. It's our enumeration, gravity. Let's change it. By default, the first item inside enumeration, it's a good practice to have it none. So if you add this enumeration inside other actors, by default, if you don't assign any particular type, by none it means that nothing bad will happen to the logic of your actor. And let's go with common and maybe rare. That's it. That's enough for the demo. And we can add the gravity inside our item base structure. So we have attributes, we have visuals, and like addition element in the base or the parent structure. Item rarity. That's it. Let's save all the assets. And now let's make some changes. To our data table. So texture. Let's go with some default texture that we have from the engine content. Let's go with the cube, this one. Description will be like hello world, weight will be 1, quantity will be, let's go with 2, and rarity will be common. And save it. Now you have data table with one predefined preset for an element. We can create another one, just like this. Let's name it item 02. Also make some changes. This will have like description, some ugly green face. Weight will be 5, quantity will be 1, rarity will be rare. And let's save it. Now, two different items. So, what we're gonna do next is to adjust the item base class. Let's open it and go inside our event graph. Here we need to add some variables. The first one is db, and this is gonna be our data table. Yep. Here we have our data table. Let's go with data table raw handle. This is going to be better. So by default we have our item here, but raw name is none. It means that base class doesn't represent any of the elements we have inside our data table. So each child that we will create, that we will create from our base class will be defined by the proper raw name from this data table. So once we've added our data table handle here, on event begin play, we need to look for the following nodes. Get data table raw and provide this one. It's our data table or handle. We break on its structure and provide our references from data table and raw name inside this function. Once it's done, we can create another variable which is called item data or item structure. Here will be item base structure. We need to drag and drop it to the graph and make these changes. Let's compile and save. By doing this, when the game starts, the elements that are derived from this class will have their own item data. So, let's create two child. Child 1 is going to be item 01, and another one, item 02. Also, let's firstly define them inside. So, class settings, as you can see, we are derived from item base. Next, we need to select class defaults, and here in the data table, we need to define the row for our element. Item 1, press compile, and the same for item 2. Compile. Now, this element has all attributes that we defined here in our data table. Next thing is to define the base logic inside our item base. So all the elements here will have the same functionality, except they can have also their own functionality. For the sake of the demo, just to demonstrate that the tables and structures working as they intended, I'll add overlap sorry guys, I'll add a sphere, and when we overlap it, it will print out the attributes for each element that's derived from our item base class. Let's change our settings. Ignore everything but except of pawn, and on event begin overlap, we're gonna get our item data, break it, also we can break out visuals, break out attributes, and let's print I don't even have to adjust collision because it's not even important for this demo. So any actor that will overlap this item will trigger the functionality for printing out the values. And let's go with some append nodes. The first one is our texture. It will print out the name of the texture. Let me see, like this one or this one. I don't really want to make this tutorial even longer than it already is, so only printing out the values. Next one, description, sorry. Next one, weight. Next one, quantity. Next one, rarity. So, by having this, our elements, as you can see, they inherit the sphere collision, and if we don't override the overlap logic, they will do what the base class does here. So let's add our elements on the level and see what will happen. Cube, hello world, 1, 2 common. The other one, I didn't see it. Iron green, some other green face, 5, etc. Let's only make it last a little bit longer, like 10 seconds. And our sphere, let's make it visible when we are in the game. Now, this one and this one. As you can see, we have two different elements that have different attributes, and it's working perfectly. Now if you want to change something inside your particular item, like let's go with another description, buy, weight 10, quantity 1, and rarity also rare. Let's save, and the first item, this one, now is changed. So if you press play and see the print, as you can see, our changes are applied. So by having this, you can create the proper pipeline for any system that you are creating at the moment, and I hope this tutorial helped you. So please subscribe if you like my videos, leave your comments, and if you want to support me, you can visit my Patreon page. I do also have the Discord channel, but right now I am at the point on my day job when I can't spend like much time on doing tutorials, so it's only temporary, but please be patient and see you soon, guys.